You're 23 years old. 23 years old in the UFC. Get an interview with Joe Rogan. You're 8-2 as a pro, 1-0 in the UFC, and it was a beautiful performance. I mean, you utilized footwork. You were blending your striking with your grappling. You took him down. You kneed him. You beat him up. I mean, it was a you couldn't ask for a better
Oh man,
first fight.
I was a little upset, man. They kept saying, "Oh my gosh, how do you feel about you're the underdog?" The guy's 7-0. His last
Right.
3 fights were
First round
yeah,
knockouts.
combined with 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So for me, I get like that's when I shine the most. Is guys like trying to take my head off. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, they coming for me. You know, I was like, all right, whatever. But yeah, so I was like that. What? Let me show you what's up. You know, that's what I was. But
You weren't an underdog in your mind. In your mind, you were the
yeah,
favorite.
and I was like, yeah. I mean, that's every fight. I feel like every fighter goes in. You know, I was like, you are. I mean, there's some doubts sometimes. You know, but
Sure.
whatever. But I didn't have no doubts in this fight. Trust me, I was focused. Like I didn't. They asked me. They were like, hey, you want to go check the cage out with the team? I was like, nah, I'm good. I seen that cage before. I'm good.
This is the Prize Fighting Business. I'm your host, Daniel Caycedo, and today my interview guest is UFC featherweight and Factory X product, Youssef the Moroccan Devil, Zalal. Youssef stopped by the studio following his UFC debut win over a fellow prospect that was unbeaten at the time. He sat down with me to have a conversation about his martial arts journey that's led him to this point, the important role models and figures in his fighting career, and what's next from here. So let's dive into my conversation with Youssef the Moroccan Devil, Zalal. Youssef, thanks for coming on, man.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely a pleasure, and this is a big time for you. You know, you just got your first UFC win on a short notice call up. You got to talk to Joe Rogan in an interview afterward. I mean, how does it feel?
Man, it feels good, man. We were, since a kid, not really as a kid. I would say just like a couple of years ago, I really started making this my career and all that.
Right.
But we know we belong in there, and we know we had the opportunity. You just give me one opportunity, and I get to show the whole world, and most important, I get to show myself what I really can do. So that was a very cool experience, and the whole journey about it was amazing. Just to be in the UFC and, like you said, to even speak with Joe Rogan and all that. So it was awesome, man.
Yeah, and what, you're 23 years old. 23 years old in the UFC, get an interview with Joe Rogan. You're 8-2 as a pro, 1-0 in the UFC, and it was a beautiful performance. I mean, you utilized footwork. You were blending your striking with your grappling. You took him down. You kneed him. You beat him up. I mean, it was a you couldn't ask for a better.
Oh man,
first
I was a little upset, man. I was like, they kept saying, "Oh my gosh, how do you feel about you're the underdog?" The guy's 7-0. His last 3 fights were
first round knockouts.
Yeah, combined with 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So for me, I get like that's when I shine the most. Is guys like trying to take my head off. You know? I was like, okay, they coming for me. I was like, all right, whatever. But yeah, so I was like that. What? Let me show you what's up. That's what I was. But
you weren't an underdog in your mind. In your mind, you were the favorite.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah. I mean, that's every fight. I feel like every fighter goes in. I was like, you are. I mean, there's some doubts sometimes. But whatever. But I didn't have no doubts in this fight. Trust me, I was focused. Like I didn't. They asked me. They were like, hey, you want to go check the cage out with the team? I was like, nah, I'm good. I seen that cage before. I'm good.
Because you've cornered people too. You've cornered people in UFC fights, so it's not an unfamiliar environment.
Oh no, I started with Chris Gutierrez, his debut in Las Vegas. Jonathan Martinez when he got the knee knockout.
Right.
Devontae Smith. Who else did I go with? I know I went with a lot of people a lot of times. So it was for me, it was just another day in there. I was like, it's not like, wow, this is cool. Like I seen how they do the media. I seen how they do this. I seen how they do this. So it was just another day for me. But yeah, I was like, no, I want to experience the whole walk. I almost walked out and I was like, I was like, no, I just walk in. But yeah, I was that focused that day. I didn't care.
This episode is brought to you by 5280 Wealth Management and their financial coaching program. For just $249 a month, you can add your own financial coach and advisor to your team. A financial coach at 5280 Wealth Management can help you analyze your cash flow, create a budget, a savings plan, and invest your money to reach your wealth building goals. 5280 Wealth Management assists you in aligning your values with your goals and then building a plan to achieve them. So take control of your finances and your future with 5280 Wealth Management. Visit 5280wealthmanagement.com/financial coaching to learn more and use code TPFB at checkout for 10% off your first month service. So how'd you get the call? So, I mean, it was a relatively short notice fight. You stepped up to fight Lingo and you won. But how did you get that call? Like, how did your first UFC fight come about?
It was a crazy story. 4 weeks, or I should say 5 weeks prior to the fight, I texted my coach and I told my girl and everybody, I was like, hey, I'm starting a diet. Texted the nutritionist, send me a new diet and all that. So, and I was like, hey, I'm not going to stop until I get a fight.
Okay.
So if it's 12 weeks, I do not care.
Yeah.
The diet's going to be there for 12 weeks or whatever it is. So my goal was supposed to be a fight in LFA, which happened on February 21st.
Yep.
Yesterday.
Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota card. My goal was trying to fight on that. That's where we were supposed to be fight. And then they were like, oh, yeah, we couldn't find you nobody and this and that. So they're trying to get me on the March card and all this. So I know I was in talk with LFA, but.
So you're starting to get your weight down.
Yeah,
you're
weight down.
Eating healthier.
35, yeah, 35 for me, it's a cut for me. It's not as a 45. I'm happy as a 45, but 35, I gotta really cut down. But so yeah, I was talking to my nutritionist every day. I'm like, hey, like this, and especially the first week, your body's not doing so hot, your weight's not going down. So I was like, I was a little worried. I was like,
how much were you weighing?
164.
Okay.
So
30 pounds to go.
Yeah, so I was 35. I gotta cut. But yeah, so I was like talking to him. Third week, I started seeing dropping a lot. So in the fourth week, I was 149.
Okay.
Or 148, 7, something like that between there. I think so one day I got all the way to 145, but I was like, that was too low. So I ate and drank more than, same diet, but I just ate more than instead of what he gave me. But yeah, we were talking, and then one day I go to the gym. This is after 4 weeks in the diet. I'll go in the gym, and then I talk to my head coach, Mark Montoya, which he talks to my manager a lot, like almost every day. They talk to each other every day. But the good thing about my manager and my coach, they don't tell you, hey, even if there's, how you say it,
progress in the negotiations.
like an option about you having a fight, they don't tell you until it happens.
Oh, all right.
So
okay.
I'll be like, hey man, you're gonna fight in the UFC. Potentially, you're gonna fight in the UFC. They don't want to get your hopes up, and then all of a sudden, it didn't happen.
That makes sense.
So I was like, all right, I was like, they didn't tell me none of it. But I walked in that day, and he was like, stay ready. Your name is flowing up there, and I'm like, flowing up there where? It was like LFA. He was like, no, UFC, and I'm like, what? Hold on, this is crazy. And then he was like, oh, 3 guys said no to you, and
wow, in
the UFC, and I was like, I didn't even know you can say no to the UFC. I was like, I thought they give you a guy, you gotta fight him,
right,
whatever. But yeah, and I was like I was very anxious since that moment.
Yeah,
since that moment I think it was the 2 days, literally the past 2 days. So 2 days fly by. I think it's a Tuesday. He walked up to me and I was like, hey coach. I asked him, I was like, did you hear anything? Because I was so anxious. I was like, I just wanted to know. I didn't know yes
Am
or
I
no.
a UFC fighter or not?
So he was like, they're not responding yet, but that means it's a good thing if they don't respond for that long. So I was like, I got more anxious now. And I'm like, he's looking very good. And I'm like, okay, sure, whatever you say. So I kind of lost hope that second.
Sure.
I a little bit started losing hope. But I had hope highs since starting. But I was like, all right, started losing hope. And then literally that day, I get a call from my manager. He FaceTimes me, which is he'd never do. He calls me. If he FaceTimes me because I FaceTimed him and he's trying
Sure.
to call me back, that's it. But he never FaceTimes me. And all I see is his wife next to him. She was sick that day, but I called her my UFC manager. She's my other manager too. But they were FaceTiming each other and literally just looked at me and smiled the whole
And
time.
this is Jason House with the
Jason
Iridium?
House,
Cool.
the Iridium. Yeah, he calls me and just smiles. And I'm like, shut up. No way. Because I felt something was going on. I was like, no way. No, shut up. And then he was like, yeah, you're in. And then I was just speechless. I dropped my phone and it just dropped on the ground. I'm like, no way. You're lying to me. And then my wife just done like 5 laps in the apartment. And all you hear is, oh my gosh, we're in the UFC. Does that mean we're in the UFC? Does that mean we're in the UFC? And they're just like, yes,
It
we
does.
are.
Yeah.
So that was a very insane moment I ever had.
I bet. So how far away were you from the fight at that time when you found
12
out?
days, I think.
12 days.
12 days,
It's a
yeah.
very short notice.
So I found out Tuesday, and the next Monday was fight week.
Okay, wow. And you were preparing for 135, but this fight was at 145.
45, yeah.
So you didn't have to cut too much weight. You were ready to go.
No, I
You
showed
were
up. I showed up on fight week and trifecta. I texted him. I was like, yeah, my weight is pretty low. So I was eating carbs. While my teammate Jonathan was eating nothing but protein and veggies. So I was like, it was kind of different, but
Different experience
Yeah,
for the two of you.
different
Oh, yeah, because
experience.
that's another neat point. I mean, you got to fight on the same card as one of your teammates in your first UFC fight, Jonathan Martinez.
Oh, I don't know if you guys know Jonathan Martinez. He's very shy, so we probably need to get him in here to get him to speaking. But he's very shy. So like he was happy when he found out I was one of the guys fighting with him. So he was not as nervous as he was.
Yeah.
So he gets very like all over the place.
Sure.
So, yeah,
Man, he had a hell of a fight too. He got robbed, straight robbed. I mean, easily seen
Did you
from
see?
the outside.
I don't know. Did you see the post? Like the guy was in the corner of James Krause's opponent.
Trevin Giles.
Yeah, Trevin Giles was the coach.
Oh,
for
yeah.
the judge.
Yeah, it's like the judge was a coach at the gym that Trevin Giles trained at. Yeah, that's rough. That's brutal. Yeah,
insane.
2 of your teammates got robbed that day.
That's-
James
that's
Krause
insane.
too. That's right.
That's
It's a
insane.
bummer.
Yeah, that's why I kind of hate going to decision, to be honest. Especially if you look at my career, my 2 losses, I'm like,
Yeah, they were close ones.
I don't like. I feel like I know at least one I did not lose. I know that for sure. But I'm like, what can you do?
Right.
It's your problem. You left it to the decision. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that brings up a good point, though. You were essentially, you had lost 2 fights in a row for LFA, and then you bounced back. You had a highlight reel knockout in the first
Yeah,
round with
that
a
was
flying knee,
nowhere.
and then this UFC debut where you just you outclassed him. I mean, you put on a display of your skills, an exhibition. It was beautiful.
My goal was, to be honest, was like since like 5 years ago, it was to go back to Morocco with a UFC contract in my hand.
Ah,
So
'cause
and
that's
I
where
was,
you're from?
Yeah, that's where I'm from,
Yeah.
Morocco. You know, and I haven't seen my mom for 10 years.
Wow.
It's been 10 years. So I was like, my goal is okay. Let's go find the Contender Series, go win that fight, and show out to all the world, and then be like, okay, there's another Moroccan in the UFC.
Yeah.
But so that didn't go as planned,
Right.
obviously. But so I was like kind of losing hope, and I was like, man, I really don't care anymore. Like, you know, you stopped caring that much
After your 2 losses.
after the 2 losses,
Yeah.
you know. But I was like, thank God, you know, I have one of the best teams and, you know, best teammates and all that. It's like, it does not matter. Like, it's another day. You live
Right.
another day. You're like, nobody's gonna. All the guys that you really know, they still love you the same way.
Yeah.
It doesn't change. But yeah, I went back home and I was kind of disappointed, but I was like, nah, not really, man. I get to see my family. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen them for 10 years. So
Yeah.
I stopped caring about that. But
No, that's huge.
man, it was one of the best things I ever done in my career. I think it was a crazy emotional roller coaster. I feel like it was. As soon as I got there, obviously crying tears already started. My mom screaming through the airport. First time in 10 years she ever saw me, and all I hear was, "Oh my God, that's him right there," in Arabic. I was
I
like, "What
bet.
the hell?" I was like, "That's my mom." And I'm like, the door opened, the security door opened, and I see her. She screams. She
Wow.
saw me. So I was like, that was like one of the best 2 weeks I ever had.
I believe it.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
So when was that?
Actually, I have the date right here. October 14th. So
Nice, you memorized it. I like
so
that.
my girl made this for me. It says future champ,
Wow.
10, 14, 19. So that's the day I always
Cool.
remember. That like I'll never forget that day.
That's
So
awesome.
that day means a lot to me. I don't know,
Yeah.
like I don't know how everybody like when you don't see your family that much. So it's like
No, it's,
kind of means a lot.
oh,
So
absolutely.
yeah, when I went there, I stayed there for 3 weeks, not 2 weeks,
Okay.
3 weeks. So me and my wife stayed there for 3 weeks. First week just hanging out with the family in the place we live, and then the second week I get to show my girl all around
Nice.
Morocco, and then the third week kind of just hanged out a little bit and just head back. But I feel like I needed that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I really needed that for my career and myself.
And your soul, it's gonna be refreshing.
Oh God, I feel like I was talking to my coach and everything. I feel like I didn't till this day. That's my only / vacation I took
Yeah.
ever in my career. So I was like, it was nothing but fighting. So I was like, and I didn't really understood it. Like I was like, what do I need vacation for? Like
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You can make so much money and then you go on vacation. But to be honest, you really need some of those days. You're like, okay, let's slow down a little bit. Let's take this week off and let's go have fun with your family, enjoy your family. Like, especially I feel bad for my wife sometimes. I'm like an asshole sometimes, especially on fight week. 45, I'm good. 35, I'm an asshole. But no, man, she just sees all this fighting and the mentality that we go to. We have a bad day, we have a good day, we have a great day, we have a okay day. So it's
Well, and like you said, it's been 10 years, so your wife gets to see your roots, see where
oh
you
yeah,
come
that was
from.
the first time she see my mom too.
And you change your perspective.
Oh God. So yeah, when I came back, they called me in Morocco. My manager texted me. Not my manager actually. My manager was texted my coach and he was like, "Hey, I have a fight for him in LFA in Colorado. So he's gonna be 3 weeks when he comes back. So I have 3 weeks. So 2 weeks of camp and 1 week of fighting, like fight week.
Right.
So technically, you only have 2 weeks of camp.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they texted me. He was like, "Hey, we have a fight for you." I was like, I can't do 35. Just let you know, because in Morocco, they eat bread every morning. I mean, not every morning, every meal. They eat bread every meal. So I was like, I was eating well. Like, I'm talking, I was living the dream down there. That's what I told you. I would never go to Morocco if I had to fight. No way. No way in hell I can do that. But yeah, so they texted me. They're like, "Hey, we got to fight." And I told him 35. I can't do it. Just FYI. He was like, "No. We have it at 140." So in my head, I was like, "Perfect. Well, take it."
Catch weight. Yeah.
After that, as soon as it said I'd take it, stopped worrying, like literally stopped thinking about fighting, stopped thinking about nothing. Went back to my family. That's it.
Good.
So I'd never done that before.
Yeah.
I always be like, "Oh, I have a fight. What I gotta do? Like,
get after it.
Let's look up the guy. Let's see what he got." I didn't even care about the guy. Like, I really didn't care who they gave me.
Was this near the back end of your trip, or was it like
no,
the middle?
this is in the middle of the trip.
Okay.
So, like, I think it was like a week and a half into the trip.
So it could be. I could see it being a little challenging to keep your mind off of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was a little bit, but I was like, after that, man, I was like, seeing my family, traveling with my family, I forgot about it so quick.
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, I didn't care. But as soon as I got back, reality hits you.
Sure.
You're like, okay, you have 3 weeks technically 2 weeks for a camp.
So what does that look like? What does an expedited camp look like? Are you training 3 times a day? Or?
No, it's the same training, but
okay.
I mean, the first 3 days I'm dying, to be honest.
Gotta get back in shape quick.
No, it was bad. Like I showed up, but it was a lot of mental. Like for me, it was like mostly mental. But I was so happy that I had that challenge.
Yeah.
Like I'm challenging myself. You don't just get same thing you've been doing. So it was like for me, like we had to go to work. Like we had to show up to training and really put everything that we had in our tank. Like.
Yeah.
And I know Coach always says, like, the Navy, when you think you're using everything, you're only using 40% of your body.
Right.
Like, you don't think about, like, you can use more than that.
Yeah.
So we went in there, and I was, like, going. But the first 3 days was, like, literally the worst 3 days I ever had in my training career.
So are you going to Landau's in the morning
still?
still?
Landau's in the mornings. My sleep was messed up. Like, super messed up.
Oh, yeah, you're coming from across the world.
Yeah, so it's 8 hours difference.
Wow.
So I come
opposite.
home. Oh, yeah, I come home. Passed out, like dead sleep. I couldn't even wake up. And I'm like, why? So I showed up there, what time? 2 a.m. and I had to go training at 9 a.m. So showed up there, didn't sleep until 3, woke up at 8:30.
In a daze.
Yeah, in a 9. This is the same day I landed. I go to the gym and I'm like messed up. Like,
yeah, I bet.
Sleep messed up. cardio was like zero. Like I'm telling you, like I get hit, and I'm like, oh my god, how much I gotta go? And we literally just started practice. He was like 20 minutes into practice. We have an hour and a half practice,
Right.
so it was very difficult. But that for me to change that switch and ready to go, I think I had the best performance I ever had.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
My
what?
LFA fight.
I don't even know how long the fight lasted, but you essentially
It was like
lined him
2
up.
minutes,
Yeah,
2
lined
minutes
him
and a half,
up, felt him
yes.
out, and then flying knee finish.
Yeah, that was like, they're like, oh yeah, like he pushed his head and this and that. And I was like, I don't even know I did that until they showed me a video.
Oh, on the back
yeah,
end.
until they showed me a video, and I was like, we worked on that flying knee with Dustin Jacoby. He's a very, known kickboxer and all
Yeah.
that. But yeah, we in the back in warm up because we had so many guys fighting. I think we had like me, Josh Huber, Brandon Royval, Brian Mitchell. I think we had like a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So for us, we needed a lot of coaches back then, back in the locker room. So I was like, whoever gonna hold, let's get it going. And then that's all he worked with me was like grabbing the head and put him down to the knee and all that. And then I literally didn't think about it, didn't go with it. I just went with it. And I was like, whatever, just go with it, just throw it. Because I kind of seen him feint this way. Every time I kick,
Tipping his head.
Seen him go this way.
Yep.
So I was like, if I feint this way, he's gonna duck down, and that's when the knee straight to the middle. But
Wow.
yeah, and I was like, which weird, like you think that way in a fight, like weird. But
Yeah. But you've been working on in the back. I mean, it's interesting that Connor with his knockout, Masvidal with his knockout. You see him working in the back, and that's what comes out during the fight.
It's crazy. It's like, we did that, and I was like, oh, like in my own head, I was like, holy shit, that actually happened. But I was like, but yeah, man, it was since that day, it was like my game changed completely.
Yeah.
I feel like my fight with that and the UFC debut, it's been the best fights I ever had since when I was 6-0.
Yeah.
I think.
So what did you think right after you landed that flying knee? Did you think there was a potential of getting a UFC fight then, or?
No, we were potentially getting another 35 fight for LFA.
Yeah.
And then, because I had a 3-fight contract deal with them.
Gotcha.
So that was one done, so I needed one more. And then, so I was like, okay, let's get back to work. So enjoyed that week and then went right back to work the next week. So I was like, all right, let's see who we have next. And obviously, it's like, I don't know why it's super hard to find an opponent for a guy who's 7-2. Like, I really don't know why.
They see your skill set.
I look at guys, I'm like 6-0. I'm finding guys like 2-0. I was like, give me those guys. Why don't you, in my own head, I was kind of talking. I'm like, I'm out here fighting the best guys in Colorado, in this region, and I'm like, but you can't really find me somebody outside the thing. When I was supposed to fight in Minnesota, I think a year ago, when I fought in the Mystic Lake, when they switched an opponent on me 2 days before the fight.
Huh.
And I was supposed to fight the number 1 guy in Minnesota, Josh Marsh, which is he trains at Elevation.
Yeah. He just moved here.
So, yeah, exactly. So I was like, you got, and I think what was I? Yeah, I was 5-0, and I was fighting him, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is what I come here to. Like, I thought he travels. I was like, I'm not the favorite, but I was like, whatever. Sure. But I went there. I didn't care. Like, let's go. And they switched an opponent on me and all that. But yeah, so that was very hard for us to even find a fight and stuff like that. So I literally had to wait. Like, I'm training, but you know how it is, fighters, especially fighters. If you don't be patient and all that, I don't think fighters are most patient guys.
No, probably not.
I'm not, but I don't know if the other guys are. But it's like, you sit down and be like, when I'm gonna fight. Why? Well, I can go eat this because I don't have a fight lined up.
You need something to work towards.
Yeah, exactly. So you start talking to your head, but the UFC fight, I did not do that at all. That's it. Like nothing. Like,
well, the waiting paid off. You got your shot.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
So what do you want next now? Like, what is on the radar? Are you looking at fights coming up?
I'm hoping I can fight before Ramadan, man.
Right.
Ramadan is April 24th.
Okay.
It goes down all the way to like May 23rd.
So 2 months or so from now.
Yeah, from now. So get back to work. And
that'd be cool. Get a quick turnaround for another UFC fight.
I don't think I even got hit in that fight. I think I got hit like 3 times, but I don't know. I'm being lucky in my fights. I'm being playing it smart. Like I don't know if I like fighting.
There's a finesse style.
Yeah.
You're picking them apart. You're picking your shots.
Boxing mentality. I was like, I hit you and not get hit.
That's right.
That's
right.
the name of the game. But it was awesome to even feel that. Like I woke up sore the next day. Though.
Sure,
Like,
of course.
I don't know how many movement I did in that fight, but I was like, my legs didn't feel nothing. That was the weird part. It was all my neck, and I was like this. Woke up the next day like this.
Yeah.
Trying to fly and stuff like that. So that was bad. But yeah, I'm hoping I can fight anything between that. I know my teammates Anthony Smith and Zach Cummins are fighting in the Nebraska card,
right.
April 25th.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So
but that's one day after Ramadan.
But that's fine. See, like I'm saying, we can. So that means I will end May 24th instead of May 23rd.
Gotcha.
For me, but it'll be awesome to get that experience.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
So yeah.
Cool. So what does camp look like right now? So just paint me a picture, kind of your schedule during the week.
To be honest, like it's the same thing we've been doing. Like nothing changes. You know, like I mean, this year we focused so much on basics. There's movement, jabs, 2s, 3s, simple stuff. Like people forget about like you don't gotta do so much. Like you literally reps. That's what's gonna win you the fight.
Yep.
So that's all we did is reps, and same thing. I wake up, go train, put everything I have, and then relax.
So what does Monday look like? You go to Landau's in the morning?
No, but Landau's only go on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
So that's from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay.
And then Mondays I have 3 practices. I go from 10 to 12, and then I go from 5 to 5:30. That's my mid session with Mark.
Okay.
And then I go from 5:30 to 7.
So morning is team practice. Then you get one-on-one striking.
And then team practice.
And then team practice.
Yeah, team
cool.
practice. Yeah. And then like if you're Tuesdays, it's the same thing. It's Landau. I go. But Landau is done at 7, and then I go eat, relax a little bit, and then go straight to gym from 10 to 11, and then from 4:30, I'll be there until 8 or 9 because I got to teach class as well.
Okay, cool.
So I basically live at that gym.
Yeah, you do. What classes are you teaching right now?
Kickboxing. I've been teaching kickboxing since I think a year and a half or 2 years with Factory X now.
Cool.
So yeah, I've been teaching. Classes are getting huge. It's ridiculous.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a very confidence for you.
Oh yeah, man. I love teaching, man. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm built to teach. I don't know. I was like, for me, it's like teaching is like normal. Like, I can come up with it like this, but think about it. It's not that hard for me. But yeah, so like teaching is just fun and it's better for me, to be honest. I'm like keeps my mind refreshed and really opened up to what I got to do.
Yeah. How much time did you take off after the UFC fight until you got back in the gym?
Oh, we always take a week off. That's
a week off?
That's it.
Nice.
Yeah, a week off.
So right back at it.
Right. Oh, yeah, I came back and I was like, oh, shit. Oh, gosh. But, no, yeah, it's so we take a week off and then get back to work right after that. So, yeah, I've been training for a week now. But so
what about diet and stuff? Are you looser with the diet after the fight, or do you get right back on it?
I am definitely looser for this fight after that fight. But, no, I get back to the diet. Like, I got back to diet Saturday. So, get back to diet. But, like, diet, like, first 2 weeks, I'm down. Like, I get back. As soon as you pass the first week and your body gets acclimated to it, because the diet is specifically for my workouts. So my nutritionist, Tyler Minton, he has everything for my workouts. Like, okay, you're going to work out at 10, let's eat at 9.
Cool.
You're going to be done at 12, okay, let's eat at 1.
So he lays it all out for you. You just have to follow it.
I just got to follow it. And I have options. It's not like I can have steak, fish, chicken. I can have all that stuff.
Cool.
For me, I can pick from bison, lamb.
Just not bread at every meal.
Yeah, like no, actually, I'm eating way more carbs than I really think. Like carbs in the morning, carbs for my 4 meals, and the last one is no carbs.
Okay.
So I'm eating carbs 4 meals a day. I'm eating 5 meals a day, and I'm talking like morning. I have 4 eggs with like 170 grams of potatoes.
Nice.
Just. There, you know, and I was like, and veggies and fruits after that.
So you're eating well.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You're not restricting it by any means.
I literally forced myself the first week and a half because I don't eat that much. Like that's why for me it's like it's a habit for me. I have to go back to my diet because I can go out with I can go the whole day. I eat 1 meal.
Yeah.
Which is
if you're controlling it.
No, yeah, if I'm controlling it, you know, because I'm like. my body's not feel like I'm skinny. You know,
Yeah,
I'm built for like your body just goes like you know. And I feel super hungry, but I'm like I don't want to
You
eat.
can
I
fight through
don't
it.
want to cook. Yeah, I don't want to do
Right.
this.
I know the
But
feeling.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I was like I want to go. Let me go eat Chick-fil-A. And then that was my whole meal. Now I'm done for the day.
Yep.
Go work out.
Yep.
I'm drinking water and this and that, and you're done. But so for camp, for me, my stomach is not used to that. So I
Yeah.
have to force feed myself
Yeah.
for the first week, at least first week, and then second week is just normal.
Okay.
Because my body's like, okay, now this guy's eating, like it's burning more now. So I'm like, oh God,
You're getting hungrier. It's almost like on that schedule at that
Yeah, I
point.
gotta keep up. So it was. It's a good experience with the nutritionist and all that.
Nice. And then
so that's why I don't deal with that headache.
That's right.
Pay a guy who
Well,
deals
and then
with
when
that.
you go to the UFC fight, fight week and the week before, you got Trifecta helping you too, right? They'll kind of help you dial it in for the weight cut.
Yeah, the good thing is my nutritionist communicates with Trifecta.
Nice.
It kind of works with them.
Yeah.
So he texted them and he was like, "Hey, he doesn't have to cut that much weight. Let's give him drinkable carbs after his workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. Let's focus on his recovery. Let's do this." So he was on it. Like
Yeah.
he was not playing on it. So like I showed up there and I'm like, "Yeah, what the hell?" He has everything set up. I was like, "Okay, cool. Yeah,
Perfect.
awesome. Get out of here."
Yeah. Again, you just have to put in the work.
Yeah.
Then.
So exactly. Literally all I did there is sleep, work out, do the photo shoot and all that, and just get out of there.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
Cool. What does media look like when you're in the UFC compared to like LFA? Is it a little more intensive?
Oh no.
No.
They don't like how in this sport, like I don't care who you are. Like when you start up, you're not doing nothing.
The media-wise.
Yeah, you ain't nothing.
Sure.
You ain't nothing.
Of course.
Maybe if you're a girl, you got something. But for us starting, you ain't nothing. Like you should have seen my schedule. It was nothing. All I had was the photo shoot and the video shoot. That's it.
Okay.
The whole day. I showed up there the first day. All I did is sign posters, go through every section.
Oh, but you are signing posters still.
That's true, but
That's pretty cool.
I mean, a kid can sign a poster, you know? You ain't nothing, you know? So that's why I was so mad. I was like, I know exactly what this company wants, you know, finishes and all that. So that's why I was super mad about not getting finishes.
But you got the Joe Rogan interview. Not everybody gets an interview, especially on the prelims, man. You know, they clearly saw something there. They were impressed.
Hey, I walked out and they're like, oh, they got so much Moroccans behind them and this and that. It is crazy, by the way. My Instagram went insane from Morocco.
Cool.
I didn't even know that many Moroccans even had Instagram. It was like, I was like, wow, that is amazing. Like
awesome.
like all I kept seeing like Moroccan flags.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't want to be that dick. Like I have all just requests and I'm not looking at all of them. So it literally took me 2 days, me just looking through every request. So like
that's gotta feel cool having that backing though, having that support.
Oh yeah, that's why I was like I appreciate it enough to even respond back, you know. So I was like I don't want to be a dick.
Right after you had just been there.
Yeah,
too.
you know. So I was like, your following account started at 4,000, now you're 11,000. So like that's in 3 days. That's insane. But
that is insane.
So,
and you got them on your shorts too, right? You got the red shorts.
Yeah, red short. And then they had the cool thing, they had the green and red writing.
Right.
So it's Moroccan pride. So I'm very I don't know if you guys saw me, like, you know.
You're the Moroccan Devil.
Yeah, I walked out with Moroccan flags for my whole career since my first amateur fight in America that I had. So it's pretty cool to have that dream that I visioned since a kid, you know, to even be somewhere, you know, to even make a name for myself, and that was cool to see.
It's got to be amazing
and experience it, yeah.
So take me back then. So how did it all start? How did your dreams of fighting start?
So my mom put me in Morocco kickboxing when I was 10 years old. She wanted to do it so I can really not be bored and not just go out in the street and kind of hang out with the guys and get in trouble. I don't care what anybody says. You hang out as a teenager, you're doing something stupid. I mean, it's either drugs or whatever it is.
Right.
Who cares? But yeah, so I go. So me and my sister would get out of school. My sister was badass too. She's still a badass. She's the smart one in the family though. She's the smart mind. That's the guy. That's out there. No, but yeah. So me and my sister would get out of school, and then we'd take a taxi. I don't know a taxi. So we have a white taxi and a red taxi.
Okay.
The red taxi is more expensive, obviously.
Sure.
A white taxi, you can have more people. you don't even know you. So like me and you can get in a taxi.
Got it.
And we go in different directions.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we go in, train, come back, and it's like 10 p.m. at night. So like the whole day is gone.
Yeah.
Like done. We got school like 4 or 3. We go eat and drink, hang out for a little bit, get our stuff ready, and then go like from 7, be there 8.
So it's keeping you occupied.
Oh yeah, keeping me occupied the whole
Out
time.
of trouble.
Yeah, so I stayed there, did that, came back home, same thing again. Same thing. I was just doing it for fun, I was like,
Yeah.
my mom wanted me to do it, I'm gonna do it, But after I had my first fight, I got my ass whooped, like bad. Like,
Straight kickboxing.
It was so in Morocco kickboxing is different. So it's a mat like this table.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chair over there and there's a chair over there. That's where coaches sit. There's one coach, one, and literally they sitting there like this and looking at you, and you just gotta fight.
Yeah.
So I had shin guards and gloves, no mouthpiece, no nothing. We were
Wow.
ready to fight. Yeah. So and I go in and I was like, poof, poof, poof. But I didn't get finished. Like me and him were going. So he won by decision.
Okay.
So I was like, damn, man. Like I was nervous. I was sitting in because it was a stadium, and they had like a bunch of mats. Like there's like 8 arenas basically.
Kind of like a wrestling tournament almost.
Yeah, wrestling tournament
Okay.
basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like there's mat 1, there's mat 2, there's mat 3.
Got it.
There's so I was sitting on top, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to go fight. And I was chill. Like I was cold, and I was like, it was bad. But after that, I still went back. I was like, whatever, I was like, I thought that was cool.
And it wasn't as bad as you thought.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, yes, I started doing that. And then the second time we had an in-house competition. So the funny thing is they had 2 poles or 4 poles. They take ropes behind them and they make a ring in the gym. Yeah, like it's not like I come here and I'm like, oh wow, like this like. But now like if you go to Morocco, they have way more.
Oh, kickboxing's big there.
Oh yeah, it's like the biggest thing in there. So yeah, I went there and I won my fight. I was like, I was like, oh my god, I won the fight. But since then, yeah, I stayed there. But growing up though, I was always like almost like bullied and stuff like that. That's why I hate people when. For me, they think they're smarter than me and this, that, and that. That's what I feel like bullied. I was like, oh, no, let's get out of there. But so, yeah, I was hanging out with my cousins, and they always start fights. And I'm the one who's fighting. They're not fighting. So I'll either get my ass whooped or I'm whooping somebody's ass. So I was like, but mostly it was me getting my ass whooped.
Sure.
So it was like guys like 40 pounds bigger than me or this and that. So I always had that feeling. I wanted to be smarter than my opponent.
Yeah.
That's me. I wanted always to be that guy. But so yeah, since then, did it for 2 years. Came to United States the first time. All I did was school, learned English, second semester, 8th grade. I came here when I was 12.
So you didn't learn English till you moved here?
No, I didn't have no English. Like
Nice.
I was learning like you see an apple.
Yeah.
They have a picture of an apartment,
Yeah.
house. So that's I was like ELA classes and all that. So
Right.
it's pretty cool. But yeah, after a year, I went in Bobby Lashley had a gym. So my dad's apartment complex was right here. My dad had a $700 Kia that gets stuck every time in the snow.
Yeah.
So we have to wake up at 6 a.m. to kind of help him get out of the snow. But the gym was like literally across the apartment complex.
Cool.
We went in there. I saw Bobby training in a cage. I was like, what is this? Like,
Was it American Top Team at the time?
I think
Okay.
so. Yeah, American Top Team. And it was like a smaller one. And
Sure.
then they opened the bigger one later.
Yeah.
But it was like this, I went in there and all you see in Bobby's is like working, wrestling, beating somebody up. And I'm like, what? He comes sit down and he was like this, exactly like me. And all you see is pouring sweat. And he had like a personal coach. He's like this. Talking to us. And then all of a sudden again. Sorry, what'd you say again? Like he was sweating and he was like explaining to us. He had no manager that back time. Like he was doing everything,
Damn.
like the memberships, talking to memberships.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like, yeah, this is how much you gotta pay, this, that. So my dad couldn't afford to pay it.
Right.
So I waited a whole year.
Wow.
And because when my dad came to the United States, they didn't accept his diploma for He's a software engineer.
Oh, wow.
So he's the smart one in the family, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they didn't accept it. They were like, no, it's from Morocco. You have to take everything back again. You got to do this, everything again in here. So he learned the English, did this, and then he took the test, passed it, like, quick.
Nice.
So he passed it. So after a year of me saying he couldn't afford.
Chomping at the bit, just
yeah,
thinking
exactly.
about it.
Yeah, thinking about, like, we didn't care. I was a kid, you know. I was
Sure.
like, this is I'm in America. I'm like this. I'm in school, hanging out with these guys. Like, whatever. I didn't care about fighting. I didn't know what fighting was.
Okay.
You know? I know I had something, but I didn't know I had like what I have. But, yeah. So after a year, my dad paid it and stopped. Actually, in fact, American Top Team closed down, that one next to my apartment, but it was one like 4 blocks away from us that opened,
nice.
and I was like, oh, it's American Top Team again. Well, why? And then we walked in. Of course, why they opened it? It was huge.
Gotcha.
They had boxing ring, cage, wrestling ring.
Wow.
2 big mats, workout rooms, and then they had like change the locker room.
And that was before that was very popular. I mean,
Yeah.
nowadays you see it a lot more, but that was before the gyms really were those mega gyms.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is like, this is huge. So yeah, we walked in, and obviously I walked in. There's a lady in the front, and I was like, oh, this is completely different. And I saw Bobby Lashley over there, and then my old coach Alexander Hudson, he was 6'5", something like that. But man, he was like, yeah. So I walked in and started, and he will tell you if you ever chance to spoke with him. Like, I showed up there, started doing jiu-jitsu, got killed.
Because you'd never done any grappling before that.
I didn't even know what grappling was. Like, I didn't even know what wrestling was, grappling was. All I knew was know how to throw a punch.
Right.
And what I mean is, like, no, like, not completely. Like, okay, like, I can throw a jab, I can throw 2, I can throw 3, whatever. But as soon as you hit me, I'm like this. Just cover up. So it was very interesting. Yeah, so we started doing that. After a month in there, I decided to do a jiu-jitsu tournament, which is stupid. I don't know why. But I did it, and I didn't know Nogi was all wrestlers.
Yeah.
So I fought wrestlers.
Especially entry level.
40 seconds in, I got smoked. Like, bad. Like, and they didn't have double elimination back then.
Okay.
So as soon as I lost, I was gone.
Yeah.
So my dad paid like $65 to come in there, drive all the way 45 minutes to watch me, to gives me a ride.
Oh, goodness.
And I got beat in 40 seconds.
Oof.
So I'm like crying, screaming, blah, blah, like, whatever. And we go back, and my dad was very suspicious about paying my gym due. He's like, why would I pay for my kid? He's getting his ass kicked. It's like, kind of makes no sense. So after that, he paid it, whatever. So a year later, I had my first kickboxing fight in America.
Wow.
I was 16.
Okay.
So, and then my coach, my dad has to sign a waiver for me to fight.
Right.
Which is crazy. The
Because you were under 18.
Yeah, the promotion was all the way in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
It's called Bang Bros.
Okay.
Which is ridiculous. So I went there. I had to bring my dad all the way to the gym. So, and we had to print the paper, and it says, hey, you're approved for your kid to fight, this and that. And then my dad looked at my coach, Alex, and he was like, you think he's ready? He's like, yeah, he's ready. Trust me. I won't let him fight if he's not ready.
Wow.
And then we went in there. Of course, I fight a giant white guy that is 140 pounds. He's nothing but like this. He was a wrestler. I know he was a wrestler.
Sure.
Right? He was like this, and like cauliflower ears and everything. I was terrified. So I go in there, and I literally just, get out, get out.
Yeah.
So I won the fight, decision.
Yeah.
And then my dad showed up the next day and paid the gym due for me, and started from there. And then, American Top Team closed down, and my coach Alex recommended Factory X for me.
Yeah.
So this is after I started when I was 15 with American Top Team. I didn't leave until I was, I think it was like 20.
Okay.
20. So I've been with American Top Team for like a long time.
Yeah.
But no, actually, when I left when I was 19, I think. Yeah, 19, something like that. Because I've been with Factory X almost 4 years now.
Had you heard about Factory X yet?
No.
Okay. So Alex just says, hey, this is a good gym to check out.
Me and my teammate Austin Jones,
Yeah.
we used to go to Elevation Muscle Farm to spar
Yeah.
every Friday because we didn't have no guys to spar with at the gym. My main training partners was welterweights.
Yeah.
I had Austin and 2 heavyweights. Actually, 4 heavyweights that I was sparring with.
Wow.
And then we had 4 heavyweights. One of them was a boxer. We call him Smiles, but that was a boxer. So that was my main training partners.
Damn.
So you do the math. Like, I'm getting my ass whooped every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm like, there's nowhere in hell I'll win this guy. So I really had to learn how to move.
Yeah. Stick and move.
Since then. So, and my coach Alex worked on that. Like, we were working and this and that. But, yeah, so started there. We go to every Friday. Our coach Alex will let us go, kind of spar there, get different looks. We go out. That's it. And then we started going to Factory X. So he told us go to Factory X, blah, blah. So we showed up there on Friday.
Did you know you wanted to be an MMA fighter at this point?
Not really.
Yeah.
So I graduated high school in 2014. People were like, oh, my gosh, you're so young.
It's only,
It's
only 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Yeah. So 5 years ago, I was like, graduated on like, I didn't have my Social Security back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no papers yet, none of this. So for me, it was kind of very hard to even have a dream,
Sure.
I'm like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. I was like, oh, like, I lost faith. And it's not that, but it's like I just didn't have no clue what to do with my life. I was like, I go home, sleep all day. I didn't have no car, no nothing. So I would take the train. This is after I left American Top Team.
Mm-hmm.
So I would take the train. I leave 2 hours before the training. So take the train, but I was like, it makes no sense me going all the way back to my dad's house in Aurora, which I'm going to be late for the next practice. So I stay at the gym.
Nice.
So sometimes I stay at the gym with no food. So, like, I'm not
wow.
eating. So I train from 10 a.m. till 12, stay from 12 till, like, 4:30, and then there's training again.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was very difficult. I did that for, like, a year and a half.
Whew.
Yeah, so I was like,
just grinding it out.
Yeah, I was like, whatever. I still didn't know. I still didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Sure.
I was like, I'm the person who's like, if I'm in, I'm in. But I didn't have like okay, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest.
But you are living at the gym. I mean, you're getting the reps in. You're spending the time
but I was like,
there.
I never knew what I was like. Oh, this is what I'm gonna be good at.
Right.
Like I didn't like. I was like, okay, like I'm doing this because I don't want to be just not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I'm not that guy. But so yeah, I was doing that. So that was a year and a half, 2 years into Factory X, and then all of a sudden things started changing a little bit. I was like, slowly, my coach is helping me out. I started teaching classes over there, so I'm getting helped out, and then I would say until my pro debut.
Really?
Yeah.
So even throughout your whole amateur career, you're just kind of going through the motions. You have no bigger idea here.
My coach did. My coach
Yeah.
Alex did, and I kind of did too back then, but I did not commit to it 100%.
Okay.
No way. Like I would not say I was 100% in. Like, oh, this is what I want to do. Like, yeah, I talked to her, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, you could work a regular job and make way more money than what you're making. You know? But,
yeah.
So yeah, for me, as soon as I started my pro debut, that's where I met my wife and all that. So it's kind of.
What made you decide to go pro?
My coaches did.
Okay.
But I kind of told him, I was like, so I fought the last amateur fight. It was against the Jackson Wing guy. Came all the way from New Mexico. But for me, I was so professional with that fight. I paid for a nutritionist, which I'm working with still since then.
Wow.
Tyler Minton. I was like, he had like 200 something plus UFC guys, and I'm like, I want to work with that. Let me see what I want to see what the professionals really do. So yeah, I did my diet clean, like everything. I showed up with the suit and everything, like ready. And then my opponent misses weight by 4 pounds. So I was super mad. So he made me more mad than fight day. So I went in fight day and just outworked him everywhere. So it was kind of like, I told him, I was like, I'm done with this, man. I was like, I need to stop paying. And weight cuts were like brutal for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to stop getting paid for this and this and that. But this is a crazy story. I got a pro debut at 35.
Okay.
I didn't make that one. So this is the story. I was cutting weight with 2 chicks. Don't do this ever. So you know how you get up out of the hot tub quick and you have like lightheaded?
Yep.
Or like blood rushes through and
Yep.
like, so I fucking passed out for like 5 seconds.
Oh god.
Like 5 seconds that I was awake, and I'm like, she was like, "Oh, wake up, Youssef." I'm like, "What's wrong? I'm good." But if there was a professional guy with you or a fighter, they'll be fine.
Sure.
Like nothing would happen. But so they went all over the fucking place. They called 911.
Oh god.
The fucking manager that worked in there knew the promoter,
Oh,
called the promoter, and canceled the fucking fight.
Wow.
So
Wow.
for me, it was ridiculous. So I'm like, because as soon as that happened, we went right back to the gym and started cutting weight again.
Yeah.
And then I get a call from my coach, and my coach drove all the way back to the gym at this middle of the night. And he was like, "Yeah, bro, you don't need to cut weight no more. They canceled the fight." So I was like, "What the fuck?"
Huh.
So since then, it was like a rough 6 months for me.
So it was 6 months till your next fight after that.
After that, and then I
Wow.
decided to go to 45. And
Okay. Okay.
Michael Santos was my first fight.
Yeah, an elevation guy. You fought a bunch of elevation guys throughout your
God,
career.
definitely. Oh my God! How many have like Matt Jones, Chepe,
Yeah.
Marie? What's his name? The second fight and the first fight.
Maurice Salazar.
That was the biggest dude I ever fought, by the way. Oh my God, that dude, scary. Him and Matt Jones were like one of the biggest dudes I fought.
Matt Jones is big. Yeah.
But I'm like, Jesus. Like, I was always the skinny guy, but I was like, oh my God. I'm looking at the case. I'm like, God.
So you won your first fight by a submission though. Darce choke, third
Yep.
round.
Yeah.
So you decided at that point, this is for me or what?
No, yeah. So I was like really, like, okay, this is it. But for me, it was very hard. Like, I didn't know what life was, and I didn't know what fighting was. Like, all I knew was fighting. I would say, let me take that back. I already know what fighting was. I didn't know what life was. Like, I really didn't know what, like, how, like, okay, I got bills.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna start having bills. I'm gonna have this. I have to really come out of my shell and be me. Like,
Yep.
let's figure out what.
Become an adult.
Yeah, let's
come of
figure out
age.
what your life is. So for me, like, I was one of those guys, like, I learned this a hard way, but I was one of those guys, I don't care. Fighting is my only thing. Like, I don't, which is dumb. It really is. Yeah, I'm like, it really is. Like, you got a whole family outside. You gotta think about your future. You got
Balance.
bills. Yeah, you gotta find the balance.
Yeah.
And I didn't have no balance. It
Sure.
was fighting or you fuck off. I don't know you.
Yeah.
Nothing. That's that. So like, I was not even like, I don't go, like, I still to this day I don't go out that much, like, at all. Like, the only time I go out when the guys win.
Sure.
That's it. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm cornering somebody and they win, I'm like, oh, you want to come with us? Let's go eat. Let's do this. Let's go hang out. I'm like, cool, sure. But like, for me, if you come out to me like, hey, let's go hang out, I'm like, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I like to stay at home, play video games, do something like that.
Yeah.
But,
Relax.
yeah, so for me, it was very hard for me to learn that. Like, I think 4 fights in, like, never enjoyed my victories, never.
But you're 4-0, just to be clear.
Yeah.
You won the first
4
4
finishes.
fights. Yeah.
4 finishes, and I'm like,
All submissions.
yeah, I'm like top of the world, and I'm like, whatever. One was TKO, was Maurice Salazar, and the rest was submission. So I'm like, top of the world, never enjoyed my victories, never celebrated my victories, never focused on that. All I did was like fighting. That's why I told you I needed that break to go to Morocco, I think.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this back then. I was
Yeah.
like, and I'm still experiencing a lot of things right now. But
Sometimes you only get that perspective
for
after the
experience,
fact. Yeah.
Through experience.
Yep.
Experience is the best teacher.
That's right.
It's like, was it Method Man? Who said that? I can't remember. Yeah, but I know a song I always listen to that says that. But golden hip hop era. That's
right.
But
The
no,
best
so
time.
yeah, so I was like, I was there and like really didn't have like, yeah, like I was good with money because I was never really growing up with money. I was
Sure.
like, whatever. So
Yeah.
it was like, I know I can figure out my ways with money, but
Right.
but like for me, it was like, fighting or everything. I don't need to work. I can make $300 a month, and I'll survive on that. But I can go with days without eating or like barely eating.
Right.
So it was very difficult. I would say I learned that maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
For me, but
It is phenomenal. I mean, you went, like you said, 4-0, 6-0, really, to start your career.
yeah,
Winning by
real quick.
submissions, and you didn't even have a grappling background. You came from
No.
kickboxing.
I think it was like all my 6 fights were a year and a half
Yeah.
together.
So you get those 6 fights in a year and a half, go 6-0, and then you hit this rough spot. You fight Chepe, come on the wrong side of the decision. You fight Matt Jones, lose a split decision, and then you kind of are in this spot where you're unsure about it, but fortuitously, you make this trip to Morocco.
The crazy thing about those 2 fights, it was this is what I'm saying. Like, you gotta really find. That's why everybody asks me, "What is your goal to do?" It's like, for me, is to have fun, no matter what. If I'm having fun, I am the most dangerous guy in this. In this.
You looked like you were having fun in your
Exactly.
UFC debut.
I don't care any division I fight in. I'll be the dangerous guy. But for me, it's like we're against Chepe and Matt Jones. It was very hard for me to, like, I'll show up to training, but I'm not there. I'm just checking a box.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, I did everything what I needed to do. I'm supposed to win. That's not how it goes.
Right.
You know, you go in there, you mental and physical. Physical is easy. Like, I feel like physical is the easiest thing.
That's the check in the box.
Yeah.
That's the going through the motions.
Like, you do that. But like, when mentally, you put your mental, you're positive, you're learning, you know exactly what you need to do, blah, blah, and all that. Like, it goes on and on. But for me, I didn't do those in those 2 fights.
You felt you were kind of in a mental rut.
I thought I was in a diet. I thought I did this, thought I did this, thought I did this. I should be good.
Yeah.
But in reality, you're not good.
Yeah.
So for me, those the biggest 2 lessons I ever learned in my life. And I'm very fucking happy I learned that as a 23-year-old guy.
Right.
And I learned it when I was 20.
Get it out of the way early.
Yeah, exactly. So it was, and because, look at it, it's crazy. I literally fought Chepe last year in January.
Yep.
Literally last year.
Yeah.
And we're talking, look at this year. I started in January with a UFC debut. So
it's amazing how fast things happen.
Yeah, so, you know, I really do think everything happens for a reason. And I'm very, like I said, like, they asked me, it's like, oh, like, what do you, this, and I was like, oh, man, I'm just very blessed and grateful to even be here, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, to even be surviving, you know? And I'm like, they're like, don't mean nothing to me. It's like, fighting is fighting, whatever. But for me to even have the opportunity to even step in the cage and show exactly what I'm good at, you know? Like, a lot of guys are so scared to even show what they're good at and follow their passion, but I really didn't find my passion until a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it's so clear. I mean, you mentioned the having fun aspect. You were having fun in that Jamie Hernandez fight. You know, you could see it on your face.
Oh, yeah,
You're having a good time before you even threw the knee.
So you guys can tell exactly.
Yeah,
Like, that's
absolutely.
what I was. That's me. I literally walked up to Mark Berry, the LFA matchmaking guy and everything.
Yeah.
I walked up to him. I was like, all those fights you've seen, that's not me. This is me. And then he was like, interesting. And then, like, went on from there. But I was like, I told these guys, I was like, when I fight like that, I am literally, I am on a roll.
Yeah.
But so that was the hardest part to find.
Right.
So.
And you feel like Morocco was a big part of that.
Yes.
Going back.
I feel like I needed something out. I needed to let something out.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but like my body was like against the Chepe fight, literally the first round I was done.
Mm-hmm.
Like my arms were literally couldn't even come up. And look at what I did in that performance.
Yeah.
So, and I don't give myself props at all. So, like, I was always like, so I'm like, whatever, you know, cool. Like, like, you know, guys walk up to you, oh my gosh, bro, you're 6-0, 6 finishes.
You're like, meh.
You know, you get, and sometimes it gets over your head though. You get so complacent. You're like, I am that good, you know.
Yeah, sometimes you do need to remind yourself.
Exactly,
you know, I am fighting at the highest level.
But I never had the balance.
Right.
You know, I never had the balance of, okay, this is just a start. Like, we need more. Like, we need this. Okay, now you're over your head. Now, you know, now you think you're good, you know. But, like, this is the worst, like, sport to even think you're good. There's always somebody better than you.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, for me, I don't even think I'm good. Like, I really don't. Like, I go in the fight, I'm like, whatever, man. It was like, but I'm going to beat your ass. Like, whatever it is, I'm going to do what I need to do. But for me, yeah. So, it was like, for me to find that balance was the hardest part. So, like, I started saying to myself, I'm like, listen, on your worst day, look at what you did for your 2 fights.
Right.
On your worst 2 days.
Like, yeah.
On my worst
It's not
2
like
days,
you got your ass kicked.
Exactly.
It was a very competitive
I'm
fight.
fighting a guy who's like, judo this, judo that, black belt. You look at mine, look at his. It's like, mine says 5-0, amateur, 6-0 pro, 6 finishes. That's it.
Right.
And then you got it. This guy,
Gold
one,
medal,
yeah, one
IMMA,
gold
yeah,
medal.
yeah, judo black belt,
That
jiu-jitsu
don't mean
black
shit.
belt.
That
Yeah,
really
yeah.
That really don't mean. So for me, it was like to think about that stuff.
Mhm.
You know, like that's why when they asked me like, oh, he's 7-0, 3, I was like, okay. He
Got
didn't
it.
fight me, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
He fought somebody. He didn't fight me, you know. Like,
And you were having fun in that fight too. I mean, you could tell, like, even though it was your UFC fight, like you said, you've had the experience in the corners, and it showed. You were comfortable
I
in
really
the
didn't care,
octagon.
man. I was talking to Joe Rogan, and
Yeah.
actually I was
that's it.
talking when I got my last takedown before the round,
Right.
third round was over. I was like facing Joe Rogan and all that, and he was like, they were saying, "Oh, Matt Jones cannot find the defense to this single leg." I was like, "Oh no, that's not a single leg." I told him this in front of him. I was like, "No, that's not a single leg. That's a DC." Because DC does it a lot. Yeah, DC does it a lot and sweeps you. So I was like, "Nah, that's the DC." And then they was like, "Oh, Youssef look like he's having a lot of fun." I was like, "Yeah, that's like whatever."
Awesome.
Yeah, when I do that, I'm on, man. So
Right.
for me to find that balance was the hardest part, but it's the best part to find before you're in the UFC.
Well, and it's cool to see, man. It's
Yeah,
cool to see
it's
from
like-
the outside.
Oh God, bro, it's like your life changes completely. Like people forget about like okay, like I can just change the fighting, and I'm blessed to have the coaches that I had back then and then, and like you know, my old coach Alex literally told me this. He was like, if you fight outside the gym, I'm not coaching you ever again.
Good.
I'm like, you teaching me nothing but life. Like, this is how you talk to guys. This is how you do this. This is how you do this. Do not do that, bro. That's not good. And like, he was just teaching me all these things. So for me, it was like, I seen like memories come back. You know, I'm like, oh, my coach did tell me this. What the hell? Like,
Now
I'm
it
an
hits
idiot.
you a little different.
Yeah, you know, I'm an idiot. What the hell am I doing? But to see all that was pretty cool, man, and kind of to experience it all. It was very cool. But like I said, man, that balance, you find that balance. It's one of the best things you can do for your life.
Yeah.
Because fighting was okay. I changed that, but it dramatically helped my regular life.
Right.
People forget about that.
Yeah.
When you're like, I know Joe Warren, our teammate, said, if my bank account is full with money, I don't have to stress about fighting. And I was the same way. I was stressing about money. I don't have money. I need to fight. Blah blah. And you know, LFA, you make okay money.
Yeah.
You know, you're not making thousands and thousands.
Right.
You know, but so and to see that thing, I thought people joking. You know, I thought people like joke, like, if my bank account's full, I'm like not stressed, and which is it is true. When you're doing good, you really stress less, and you just go in there and have fun, like that, because you know when you stress, you're not having fun.
Right.
You're not, but. So yeah, things like that, like things about like not worrying about the bill, like when I went to Morocco, I didn't have to worry about, oh, I gotta come back and we gotta pay bills. Nah, I was like, I got to deal with that. I have to overwork myself, which is fine. I did not care. Like I was driving Lyft and Uber for when they canceled the fight on us, literally every day for a couple of hours a day, go train, do the same thing, like.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do that, you know? But I was like, nah, like, let's do that. Let me and my wife and my family have fun. I don't want to be out here stressing about, oh, did I pay this bill? Did I pay this bill? Did I pay this bill? What do I need to fight? No, I don't. We don't need to fight, you know? But for me, the fight, it's the journey that I created.
Yep.
It's like what I'm meant to do, and like I don't want to say here I'm like, oh, it was meant to do this and this and that. It's what I decided to do. It's it's my decision, you know. And I'm like, okay, you know, I had great coaches, and I still have great coaches that put me on that path. So I mean, it could be in a whole different path if I had different coaches than what I think I had.
Yeah. And you know, theoretically, or you know, maybe you ended one journey, but now this new journey is ahead of you, and you know,
exactly, man.
It's
just crazy how you see all this. Like you sit down to yourself and be like, damn, like last year I lost my biggest fight, and I had like I told this to everybody, is like I had a contract ready after Chepe's fight.
Yeah.
So that was a crazy thing. And then after Matt Jones' fight, I had a contract ready for the Contender Series. So for me to lose the biggest two things that I dreamed about since as a kid.
It could be crushing, but you didn't let it. You know, you didn't let it.
It did crush me for a little bit, you know.
Sure,
and I'm like,
That's natural.
I was like, I told my coaches, like I suck. Like, what's the deal? Like, we do so good, but when it comes to the big part, like we're not doing so hot, you know. And I'm like, kind of start overthinking everything, you know. And I'm like, and then I had Brian Camozzi, which is a UFC vet. Like, he helped me a lot, man. He told me, he's like, listen, man, you lost. What happened? Nothing.
Right.
Did your wife hate you more? No. She woke up next to you? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Same thing. So, and I was like, that is interesting.
I mean, I think this is it's not only big for you, like, experiencing that, obviously, but I think that's big for other people to hear, too, you know? Like,
oh, man, that's why I really want to, like, put it out there for the guys that, one, don't have the belief in themselves. Like, that's number one. And, like, always have doubts. I feel like the guys that have doubts, that's like the biggest thing.
So
like,
it keeps you sharp.
Oh yeah,
keeps you working hard.
Yeah, man. I was like, nah. Like I'm the guy that want to help those guys. I'm the guy. Like, I want to experience that. Everybody around you is smarter than you. You can still do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't have to listen to them. My dad wanted me to be a software engineer. I'm not that guy, you know. And I'm like, cool. Like, I can do anything in this life that I want to. Like, I don't have. Nobody's gonna stop me, you know. But for me to fight and really enjoy what I'm doing, it's awesome. I forget about enjoying sometimes because fighting can get so brutal. Your body goes to shit, you know, and all this. So for you to enjoy it and really find the moment, I feel like that's the biggest challenge in life in general.
Oh yeah.
So
find that balance. That balance is always the struggle.
Exactly. So for me, finding that and really seeing it and learning it as a young kid,
23,
a young man, I'm like, I'm very grateful for that. And I'm like, those lessons, man, there's some hard lessons. Yeah. And there's still more hard lessons to come.
Of course.
So I was like, that's the one thing I always think about now. I'm like, you think you got it all, you don't.
Sure. But you're in a great spot. Yeah, you found the balance, at least for the moment, for the time being. That's all you can ask for.
Things change quick, you know.
Sure.
Things can change quick, you know. Next fight, you fight top 15 and be like, oh, you started last year, and now you're top 15. And you're like, what the? Hold on, like, you know. So. And
now you're in the biggest organization in the world right now. So I mean, you're in a good spot.
That's like, for me to be in that part and then really get to show the whole Moroccan crowd. Like, I can't tell you how many texts I got about, hey man, I want to be like, I'm a kickboxer for 10 years. Guys are crazy good. Like, you can watch them. Like, I'm actually watching them. I'm like, damn, this kid is actually good. I think he's better than me. He's like, do you know how I can get to MMA and this and that? And I'm like, so like, I'm trying to help him out. I'm like,
move on out. Come to Colorado.
Yeah, so I'm like, for me, he was like, yeah, I definitely need to come train and this and that. I'm from Belgium. I'm from Netherlands. I'm from like, I'm getting texts from this.
So
I'm
cool.
Moroccan, and so to kind of just put those vibes on, it's kind of
shows
awesome.
you doing something right.
Yeah, and then I have guys like texting me like, hey man, I thought about quitting about fighting, but after watching you, I'm like, I want to fight back again. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I went to the jiu-jitsu tournament yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Which is, I stayed there from 11 to like, I think it was like 7. It was ridiculous. Those jiu-jitsu tournaments go That's why my voice is a little sound. I lost my voice too. But it's just so awesome to have like people walk up to me. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And I'm like, man, like, I watched your UFC debut, blah blah. I'm like, you know, you like, people don't like, you say you watch UFC debut, and I'm like, especially on UFC Fight Pass, I'm like, but it's crazy how many people actually watched it.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot of people.
I'm like, that's crazy. Like, people walked up to me and like, hey, like, bro, like, you got a new fan in here. I watched your UFC debut. Keep it up, man. Congratulations.
It's real.
That's the one that comes say it. I'm like, that is awesome.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
I'm talking like guys from Easton, guys from different gyms. And
I saw
Marshall,
Elliot Marshall make a post about it.
So I always seen him. I always play with him, but
that was high praise. He said, you know, I don't cheer for many people outside of my team, but Youssef's my guy.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. We always talk. Yeah, he saw me and he was like, Mr. Superstar out here. I had the UFC pants, Reebok pants they gave me. I was like, hey man, I just woke up and this whole thing I found to wear. So calm down.
Free gear, free clothes.
It was like, oh, Superstar. He was playing with me the whole time. It was an awesome. But it's kind of cool to see that, you know, like
Yeah,
you really
for sure.
like you can make a difference.
Oh, you can. Yeah.
In
You're
people's
doing
lives.
it, dude.
Yeah,
You're doing
so
it. You're inspiring.
that's what I really want, and that's bigger than fighting, I think.
So tell me then, what is your goal now? I mean, and, you know, you're 1-0 in the UFC. What are your goals? What are your career goals?
Oh man, keep doing what I'm doing in my career, and I
Keep inspiring people.
and I
while you're
guarantee you'll see me with the belt over there. But I don't
believe it.
I don't want to be that guy. Be like, oh, I want to be a world champion. This and this and that. Hey man, it comes. But I got bigger things. I got a whole country to really show what they can do and see what Moroccans can really do in this sport. You know, there's only 3 Moroccans in the whole division,
That's
in the
kinda crazy
whole
to think
UFC.
about. Yeah.
So I don't know how many fighters are there, you know, but
You're an
800
inspiration, man.
Yeah, so for me that's like bigger than fighting.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
that is my biggest thing, I feel
Cool.
like.
I love it.
Get in there and show people that you can do what you really wanted to do and not overthinking and stop listening to people around you, you know, and not around you. So I was like, for example, I was in the social media, some guy said, like, oh, he does not deserve it, blah, blah, he's this, and that. And I'm like, what the hell? So I talked to my coach, and he's like, this is what they're gonna happen.
Yeah, you can't let that get to you.
You can't let it get to you. And I was
Only
like,
the good stuff.
and I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, you just pull more fuel in my
a little bit chip on the shoulder, more
I was
fuel.
like, all right, I'm about to show you what's up. And then like when I was walking out of the cage after I won, I was so still pissed off because I didn't get a finish. And then my coach, all my coach focused on, like, literally, that's why I'm telling you, he's one of the best coaches. He literally, all he did is like, look at all this, remember all this. That's good that you're feeling this, but say hi to the fans and all that. And it was pretty cool. Like,
That's Mark saying that.
Yeah, Mark saying that, and I walked out and I was like, oh wow, people want me to sign stuff, take pictures. I think I took 20 pictures and signed like so many posters. This is not even get out of the arena. This is inside the cage, like by the cage. So that was pretty cool to see
awesome.
and kind of know. He's been there, you know. He's experienced. Our head coach, he experienced all that. I don't know how many UFC walks he did, but so he was on it. He was like, don't worry about it. And then my manager said the best thing is like, last 6 weeks ago, you were not even in the UFC. We were looking for a fight in LFA. So now you're in the UFC. Enjoy this moment.
That's right.
So that's what I took it aside. I'm like, enjoy this moment.
Yeah.
So
cool.
that was pretty cool.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Perfect way to end it. Before I let you go, though, I want a tip for a young aspiring martial artist, a young athlete. Someone, I mean, you're a young man yourself, 23, but you're in the UFC now. So what wisdom can you share for a young aspiring athlete?
Be you. I feel like that's the biggest thing. Don't try to change anything. You really don't. Like, there's sometimes good changes happen, but you need some changes. But be you, man. Believe in yourself and trust yourself. Like, your gut, whatever your gut is telling you, do it. Don't think about this and that. And don't be real with yourself though. Don't, like, I have some guys walk out, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be a world champion. Like, you training once a week, you know. That's not how you be a world champion. So be real with yourself. And I feel like that's 2 biggest things in your life. Be real with yourself and really enjoy what you're doing. Have fun. I feel like if you have fun, ain't nobody stopping you.
And it looks like you're having fun, man.
Hey,
I love it.
we're trying to out here. We still got more ways to go, but
absolutely.
Yeah, we're taking it fight by fight.
Hell yeah, I'm excited to see where you go.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me again.
Thank you,
I
man.
appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. How can people follow you online?
Oh, you guys can follow me at the Moroccan Devil. That's my Instagram. I should get my blue check mark too.
Yeah, work on that blue check mark.
Insta. No, they sent it. I think it said really? I think it said like sometimes it takes like a whole month.
Oh, okay.
To even get it. So
the Moroccan Devil online?
Yeah, Moroccan Devil on Instagram, at Moroccan Devil 35 at Twitter.
Cool.
And then Youssef Zalal, my name. And then there's my fan page on Facebook as well, Youssef Zalal. So you'll find one of those 2.
Yeah. So give them a follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Prize Fighting Business, and follow us on Instagram. Thanks a lot.